All right, we are back. Straight Red Card. We're going to talk about, as many people have found out, of course, Efrain Alvarez played the last 20 or so minutes for the Mexican national team in a friendly against Costa Rica, which they won 1-0. And Tata Martino had kind words for Alvarez after the game. And a lot of people, Brett, are freaking out because Berhalter told Alvarez, go play for the Mexican national team. So you find out how if you like that. If you like it better, you like it better. Go play for them. If you don't like it better, play for us. But you know what? It's easier for Greg Berhalter to say that now, isn't it? Because what position does Alvarez play? Yeah. Plays winger and center. He could play winger or central attacking midfield. He's a creative player. Guess what? We have plenty of wingers. I mean, if Efrain Alvarez made the team, he's already starting right behind Pulisic, Weah, and Aronson, and Reyna, exactly. And if let's say Tyler Boyd starts killing it again in Turkey, maybe him too, or Morris when Morris gets healthy. I mean, listen, you are not needed. So it's easy for Berhalter to say that.
I wouldn't necessarily say not needed. That's always great to have more and more and more options. I would say that he's definitely a duplicate, and quite frankly, I think this was always in the cards. And maybe Berhalter sees the writing on the wall about it, but I honestly don't know. I think it was definitely a stronger odd that he would play for the Mexican national team than the U.S.
I don't know. And here's if I'm Efrain Alvarez. So we just did Greg Berhalter's thinking. If I'm Efrain Alvarez, I'm also thinking, I'm looking at the Mexican national team in its current makeup going forward, and it's very old. It's older, They got players in their 30s. They got players late 20s. And look at our roster right now. It's full of U24s. U23s, youngsters, teenagers who are making their mark in Europe now, and they're kicking ass now. And Efrain Alvarez is still with LA Galaxy, and he's not a starter. Maybe he will be this season. I saw an article the other day. Ken Efrain, I think it was on MLS. They said, will Efrain Alvarez save the LA Galaxy? No, he's not. He's not. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a really talented, technical player. But how many times have we said that before? And it doesn't make a difference because for all kinds of different reasons. But do you see Efrain Alvarez taking a trip to Europe soon and playing on, Dortmund or Wolfsburg or Paderborn for that matter? I mean, really, I don't think he's that good. I think he's good, but I don't think he's that good. And maybe a lot will have to, as a Galaxy fan, I can say this. I watch every Galaxy game every season. He's had moments, but that's about all I can say. So I don't know. That's my point of view. I think it's a lot of chatter, but I don't think it's a big deal if he leaves.
Well, I mean, and don't get me wrong, but I think this may fall into the lines of the whole Jonathan Gonzalez thing. Would it have been great to have him in our pool? Sure. Are we hurt that he's missing?
No.
We got other people there. Although, it would have been, we could have easily had him lined up behind Adams instead of Acosta, but still.
Well, you could say that, but then Jonathan Gonzalez doesn't play for Monterrey.
True. That's a good point, but I guess just looking at the scenario and putting them side by side.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's funny when they were actively Mexico going after Jonathan Gonzalez. He was like a regular fixture for Monterrey. He was playing like every game. And then as soon as he made the switch, not only did he not get to play many games after that for the national team, he wasn't even called up for this Mexican Olympic team. The Olympic team. He's still 21. He was not called up for the Olympic team.
Yeah, so they weren't hurting for it either, in all honesty.
No, and that's how far Jonathan Gonzalez has fallen since then. So there's no need to panic. I guess, onto your point.
We had, not to make this a Jonathan Gonzalez comment, but I mean, this is sort of the comment I would still make about Alvarez, is that you're young, don't make a rash decision. As far as, I'm not saying that him going to Mexico now wouldn't necessarily cap time for life. He's capable of playing for both the United States. What? Oh, sorry, you're agreeing.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
yeah.
You're agreeing. Okay,
Yeah.
So it's not.
You're right. It won't cap time.
It's not like the Jonathan Gonzalez situation where he was cap tied with the United States and made the one-time switch at such a young age. And don't get me wrong, if he made that decision because he wanted to play for Mexico, by all means, perfectly fine with that. But if he made it for various other reasons, then that's my point, is you'll make a rash decision.
Yep.
Alvarez is young. You don't have to decide one way or another. But if you feel like you want to play for Mexico more than the United States, go play for Mexico. If you're undecided, stay undecided. If you like the United States, play for the United States. Simple as that. I mean, I know it's not as simple as that, but still.
It really isn't, because I think a lot of these guys are weighing opportunity.
Sure.
And I think, like Jonathan Gonzalez, when he made his decision, he really was courted hard by the Mexican national team. And he really felt like, based on the conversations and the experience and, as much as they were courting him, he was going to be in that World Cup squad. And he was going to be a part of that national team going forward. And they sold him a bill of goods and he bought it, and you're right. He should have waited. He didn't need to make that decision that early. Same thing here for Efrain. He's done the smart thing. He's only played games that don't cap tie you.
Yep.
So he's doing the right thing. If he is wondering still about his future and where he's going to slot in better, I'm going to tell him right now, 10 years going forward, his better move would be Mexico. They are going to need wingers earlier than we're going to need wingers, unless we have a slew of injuries and failures out of nowhere. But they're an older team.
I mean, we're it's not like we're talking about failures, because we're talking about players who are already established at their clubs in Europe.
Yes.
Now,
exactly.
I mean, it'd be they could fail. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like prospects that are going to Europe and trying to fight for their spot right now. They've made themselves an established commodity, so it's a bit different.
Yeah. And you know what? This is just me, and people can call me out for this when I'm wrong, and I'll live with it, and I'll take your shit. But you can quote me now. Efrain Alvarez will never be a normal, regular starter for the Mexican national team, and he will pick the Mexican national team, but he will never still be. Because let's face it, Efrain Alvarez is a great player, but the Mexican League continues to pump out great players, great young players. That's why they did so well in the Olympics, because those guys are good and they're solid. And
great young players that get consistent playing time with their clubs too.
Yeah. So
I
don't think Alvarez has much of a future for either national team, frankly. And it's not
in the middle, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just not. It's not because he's not a good player. It's just simply the position he plays, and we're loaded there, and we're loaded there about 5 or 6 deep, and so he's probably not even in the top 20 right now in that position, honestly. And same goes really for Mexico when they get everybody that they can possibly get healthy again, at least for the next foreseeable, few years. A lot of their older players are still going to be playing top ball, and especially their middle 20 guys. They're going to be around for another 5 or 6, 7 years. So he's going to have to wait if he's good enough, and that really is the point at the end. And as an LA Galaxy fan, I feel okay saying I'm not overly impressed right yet. I know Zlatan was impressed, but I haven't been so far. I've been impressed by moments, and that's not good enough.